Hi there, welcome to Kneppy Invest. Time for another one of my favorite type of videos, a technical update where I will be looking at charts. And in today's video, I'll be focusing on 10 companies that are traded on the ASX, focused on Syrah Technologies. In fact, I'll be looking at 3 different charts for Syrah Technologies, and those different charts are all different time frames. So I'll be focusing on the weekly, daily, then also a 5-minute chart. And the other 9 companies I'll be looking at in today's technical update include Bluescope Steel, Pact Group, Novonix, Appen, Nanosonics, Megaport, Kogan. Is it Kogan.com or just Kogan? I think it's just Kogan. Doug, and Mineral Resources. Now, I have featured quite a few of these companies in previous technical updates, but just because I feature one of these companies or a few of these companies in those previous technical updates doesn't mean you should stop looking at the charts. And these companies are starting to look interesting again because maybe share price has broken out, or maybe the share price has moved through a fairly strong support level. So the first company we're going to look at is the featured company in today's video, and that is Syrah Technologies. And I'll be looking at 3 charts in relation to this company. This is the weekly chart for Syrah Technologies going back to the middle of 2019. And the reason I want to go that far back is because I just want to include the COVID-19 financial panic period, because the share price did drop to about 25 cents there. And that was a long-term low for this company's share price. But from that low, then the share price moved into a beautiful uptrend. And I've really portrayed the bottom of that trend with that sloping dashed line. And you can see the share price really move along that uptrend line pretty well during 2020. And then it took off towards the end of 2020 and 2021. But a couple of occasions, we did see the share price hit the uptrend line. First occasion was in the middle of last year, and then we saw a really nice little bounce. And then again, about 5 weeks ago, share price hit the uptrend line, and we saw a beautiful bounce. Now, probably beautiful is not the right word because we didn't see really good volume. I would have preferred really good volume for that to be a really beautiful bounce. But the share price went from about $1.50 upwards to about $1.85 in 1 week. And that was off the uptrend line. So no doubt there would be some technical traders who knew there was an uptrend line. And when the share price hit that uptrend line, they took a position. But in the past week, the share price has fallen below the uptrend line on significant volume. And we'll talk about why the market has sold off on Syrah Technologies when we look at the daily chart in the next slide. But the one reason I'm looking at 3 different time frames is because you can get a different perspective when you look at different time frames. So a significant down week when you look at the weekly chart, and this is looking like a fairly bearish chart because of what happened in the last week. Now, if you just look at this 1 week candlestick, you can see at the bottom of the candlestick there is not a long tail, but there is a bit of a tail there. And that is telling me there was a little bit of buying during the week, particularly when the share price fell below $1.12. You'll be able to see that when not only we look at the daily chart, but also when we look at the 5-minute chart in 2 sides time. So let's have a look at, get a different perspective by looking at the daily chart for Syrah Technologies. And in the daily chart, we're going back to about March of last year. You can see share price reaching the uptrend line in June, July, and that was coinciding with the general market weakness. Nice little bounce off that line. In fact, share price went from about $1.20 all the way to a high of $2.69 in a fairly short period of time. That's a nice share price rise in that sort of time, almost a tripling in the share price. But then the share price has fallen significantly since that high, which was in November last year. Now, we did see that bounce off that uptrend line back in March, so about a month ago. Really nice bounce. Share price went on a nice run from $1.50 to about $1.85, but there was a little bit of weakness. Not a lot of buying during that little bounce off the uptrend line. Yes, that's the other thing you've got to take into note here. You would like to see a bit of buying when the share price did bounce off that uptrend line. And then on the Monday, because I only had 4 days of trading last week because of Anzac Day, on Monday, the share price was right on that uptrend line. But there was significant weakness in the next few trading days. And then the company released their quarterly results on the 27th of April. I haven't looked now at about 9 a.m. and then the share price fell about 9% that day, which was a Thursday, and the share price fell another 9% on the Friday. But there was really high volume on the Friday. You can see massive volume, almost twice as much as volume than the previous day. And you can't really see how significant that is until you look at the shorter time frame. So let's have a look at the 5-minute time frame, because if you can see the daily chart, there is a bit of a tail. And whenever you see a bit of a tail on the daily candlestick, the one-day candlestick, that is telling you that there is a little bit of buying that has come in during the day. So let's have a look at that buying and what time it came in and at what share price the volume came in at, and you'll get a bit of an sort of an understanding of the sort of the psychology when it comes to people buying in when the share price is perceived at good value. So you can see that when we do look at the 5-minute chart. So let's have a look at that now. So this is a 5-minute chart going back just over a week. And you can just see persistent selling through the week. Now on the Monday, the 24th, there was not a lot of volume. So the share price was going sideways. A little bit more volume came in on the Wednesday. A little bit more volume came in on the Thursday. And that's when the company did release their quarterly results. But the majority of volume actually was on the Friday. Initially, there was a lot of selling on open. So maybe a fund manager had a little bit more time to digest the results. So heavy volume in the first 15 minutes of trading. But towards about 1 p.m. in the afternoon, as the share price started to slip down towards $1.10, we started to see a lot of buying come in. You can see massive volume coming in about 10 minutes at the share price low. This is very important. When you see high volume at the low, that is telling us there's a lot of volume coming in. So someone in the market was realizing that $1.10, this company represented some good value. That share price represented good value for this company, and that was the low for the day. So that volume was very important, because then the share price went on a nice little rally during the rest of the day, and the share price actually closed at about $1.17. And also there was pretty high volume in the last 15 or about the last 10 minutes of trading, including the closing auction. So just by looking at the 5-minute chart, you are getting a feeling of being a little bit more bullish than compared to definitely the weekly chart and even the daily chart. So possibly, if you are a day trader, this could be a good sign that we might see a continued bounce when we start trading on the Monday. I decided to include Bluescope Steel in this video because they did release a profit upgrade, which is my favorite type of announcement a company can release. But even though typically these are fairly powerful types of announcements, and a lot of times you will see the share price go on a rally after a company does release a profit upgrade. It doesn't always happen, and I've seen this happen few times with Bluescope Steel. The company releases a profit upgrade and you don't see the share price or the market respond, and that probably is suggesting that the market has already priced in this profit upgrade. And that's definitely true when Bluescope Steel released their profit upgrade on the 24th of April, increases their second half financial year 23 earnings guidance to between 770 million, and that was significantly up from the previous guidance. So the prior guidance was for that to be between 480 and 550 million. So I was very interested to see how the market would react to this profit upgrade. And initially, the market reacted positively. So the share price opened up a fair bit on that day, but a lot of selling came in during that day. In fact, the share price actually finished down for the day. And then the next few days, the share price kept on decreasing. So in fact, the share price went from $21 to below $19.50 on the Thursday. That is telling us that more than likely the market had already priced in this profit upgrade, and that's why the market hasn't responded. Now, in saying all that, when we do look at the Bluescope Steel chart over the past, say, 5 months, the share price is in an uptrend. That uptrend really developed towards the end of last year, and we have seen a couple of high highs, a couple of higher lows, and potentially we have just seen another higher low because the share price has bounced off the most recent low, which was on the Thursday, and that low was in the support zone. So whenever the share price gets in that green area, and I call that green area just a support zone, a lot of times you will see that is a good time to think about buying a company if the share price is an uptrend, and potentially that's where what we're seeing right now with Bluescope Steel. Now, this is a company I have traded before successfully. I'm not sure if I will take a position right now in this company at these prices, because I'm more willing to buy into a company like this where the share price and the overall sentiment in the company is fairly low, like it was in the middle of 2020. Now to Pact Group, which I have definitely included in a video before, because share price of this company has been supported by a nice level at around about $1. And that's that bottom horizontal dashed line. And it's very important to understand that round numbers like $1, 10 cents, $2, 50 cents are very powerful natural support and resistance levels. And this is obvious not only when we look at Pact Group, but also another company that we'll be featuring later in the company. And therefore, Pact Group, this support level has been in place since December last year, so about 5 months. And we have seen the share price reach this level 1, 2, 3, 4 times in the past. And Pact Group is right on $1 right now. I think the last time I featured this company, the share price had just bounced off $1. Now, just because this is a good support level doesn't mean now is the time to buy. But in saying that, it probably could be, or argued, it's a low risk trade. If you buy at $1 and you see the support level broken, it's an automatic sell, but you might see a nice little bounce. And last time we did see a bounce off $1. The share price went from $1 back up to about $1.40. That's a 40% rise in the share price in a fairly short period of time. I've already mentioned in one of my other slides that when you don't see high volume and the share price bounces, that's actually a bad sign. You do want to see some volume. So it's not surprising that after the bounce, we have seen the share price pull back, because a lot of resistance moving forward for this company, because the share price has fallen a fair bit. As you can see, previous to this period, the share price was in a well-defined downtrend. And when the share price did bounce during February into March from $1 to $1.40, share price moved in to a resistance level. So at this point in time, the best sort of outcome I can see for Pact Group moving forward is the share price continuing to move sideways for a period of time, and $1 not being broken for an extended period of time. And if the share price can move sideways, consolidate for a period of time, and if the company can release some positive financial news, maybe $1 will remain the low for this company. But at this point in time, I'm not sure about that. I'm not the biggest fan of this company overall. Fairly light margins or tiny margins, not a lot of growth in the business. So definitely not a high quality company. And for non-high quality companies, I'm all about trading them and looking for positive sentiment and an uptrend in the share price. And at this point in time, Pact Group doesn't have that going for it. The only thing going for it is the share price right now is at a really strong support level. Now, speaking about $1 being a nice support level for a company or a resistance level, and the main reason I wanted to look at Novonix and include it in today's video is because about a week ago, the share price was hovering around $1. And I made a decision to include Novonix in this video about 1 week ago. And then the share price fell through $1 during the trading week. In fact, it fell through it on the 21st of April. And then the share price went down to a low of 90 cents, but we have seen a bounce. In fact, the share price went above $1 briefly on the Friday, but then closed at 98 cents. The company did release their quarterly results on the 26th, which is the Wednesday. Share price was down 2.7% on the day, fell to a low of 90 cents, but we have seen a nice little bounce. But the share price has fallen through that support level at $1. And for Novonix, that support level was developed way back in 2020. Share price was in an uptrend at that point in time. It came back, tested $1, and then kept moving higher. So this is what was this little rally in the share price over the last few days for Novonix is sort of a retesting of $1. So potentially this support level of $1 has now become resistance. If the share price struggles to get back above $1, and it really struggles over a period of time, then we can say that now $1 is a strong resistance level for Novonix, and the share price has been a downtrend for this company for a while as well. Now on to Appen, and this company has not released any significant news over the past few months. In fact, the last time this company released a market-sensitive announcement was back on the 27th of February when they released their full-year results. So all the announcements since then have been non-market or price sensitive. Now, in saying that, the chart does look really interesting, particularly in the last few trading days. The share price of this company has been going sideways or consolidating for the last 5, almost 6 months. That's a good sign moving forward. But the last 2 times we have seen a nice little rally in the share price in February and then again in April. We saw some selling coming in, and that selling was on high volume, particularly the one in February. You can see some pretty high volume when the share price went on a 2 or 3 day rally, and then high volume when the share price pulled back. Same thing happened towards the end of March into April, and we have just seen a nice little rally in the share price over the last few trading days. The share price has increased 5% on the Thursday 27th, and then another 5% on the 28th. If we go back to the February rally in the share price rallied 8% on one day, 12.5% the next day. This is on the 9th and 10th of February, and then dropped 15% on the 13th and dropped 7% on the 14th. So that's sort of an extreme rally and then a drop in the share price. And the main reason we saw selling coming in was because the share price on that rally, even though there was pretty nice volume, moved into a resistance zone. The next rally we saw in the share price and a bit of a sell-off in late March, April, again, the share price rallied into a resistance zone, but a less powerful resistance zone. So those shareholders who want to sell out have been selling out on the last 2 rallies of the share price. So potentially all those shareholders who have wanted to sold out, who think this is a dog stock, and there's still maybe a lot of those shareholders out there, have had the opportunity to sell out. So potentially this rally in the share price over the past few days might be successful. This could be the start of a potential uptrend in Appen share price. Now, I want confirmation, and to get that confirmation, I'd want to see the share price get above about $3.40, which was the highs we saw on that rally in February. And the share price can get above $3.40. That means the share price would be at least a 6-month high, and that would mean potentially this long-term downtrend that Appen share price has been would have broken. So interesting times for Appen moving forward. The best way this company can see their share price moving to a rally is if they release some positive news to the market. So all eyes are on whether Appen can release any positive news. And if they can, then I think all bets are off for Appen share price, and it will go on a really nice rally from here. Just like Appen, the last time Nanosonics released a market-sensitive announcement was back in February when they released their financial results, their half-year results. And I did feature Nanosonics in a trading update a few weeks ago because the share price was really struggling to get above a resistance level, which was at $5.30, which was the highs we saw back in August. Share price tried to get above $5.30 in January of this year. You can see a 1-day candlestick with a high tail, long tail to the top of that candlestick. And that's telling us as soon as the share price got to around $5.30, there was a lot of selling came in that day. And then when I did feature this company in one of my technical updates a few weeks ago, the share price was trying to get above $5.30. You see the share price just going sideways, just on $5.30. There was one day the share price briefly went above $5.30, and then we did see some selling. But on the 24th of April this year, the share price went up 7.5 cents on, won't say high volume, but definitely there was some strength on this day because the share price rose a fair bit. And the share price significantly went above $5.30. And this is the way you get a share price of a company to break out. I'm not sure if this was a fund manager taking a significant position in this company, but this is the very definition of a breakout of a share price in a company. This is the sort of thing you want to be looking for. The only negative thing I can say is that a breakout in the share price did not coincide with positive news. When you see a breakout in company share price corresponding with positive news, that's the most powerful type of breakout. But we have seen the market continue to respond to this breakout. Share price has kept on rallying after the 24th of April, and the share price has closed in the week at $5.70, so significantly above the $5.30 resistance level. Now, I just had to include Kogan in today's video because of what happened during the week, and I won't say this is a breakout. A lot of volatility in Kogan share price over the past 9 months. You can see the share price rallying hard sometimes and pulling back, rallying hard. So a lot of mountains and valleys when you do look at the chart over the past year. And what we did see during the past week was the company released an announcement on the 26th of April a business update and they announced a share buyback. The market has responded positively to that announcement. The share price actually rallied 7.2% on that day, and then another 11.7% on the 27th of April. But the share price has moved towards those highs we have seen 3 times in the past 8 months. So in August, we saw a really nice rally in the share price, but the share price moved into a pretty strong resistance zone. The share price pulled back. We saw another nice little rally in January of this year. Share price went up to $4.70, which was the highs or near highs we saw back in August, and the share price pulled back. We saw another nice little rally in March, about a 5-6 day rally. Share price went up to $4.50, and their share price pulled back. And the share price right now is at $4.35, so just shy of those highs we've seen in the last 3 rallies. So that's the only negative sign I can think of when I look at this particular chart is there is a bit of resistance moving forward for Kogan, and I would like to see the share price get above about $4.80. Definitely, if the share price gets above $5, I think this company would be looking way more interesting. But I think there is potential. We might see further volatility when it comes to Kogan share price. And don't be surprised to see the share price pull back down towards about $3.50. Now to Mineral Resources, and what happened during the week is a little bit bearish for this company because the share price had been trading above a nice little support level at about $75. We can see $75 being reached in January, and then again a couple of times in the past month or so. But unfortunately, the company did release their quarterly results on the 26th of April. I haven't had a look at those quarterly results yet, but I know they probably didn't meet market expectations, or the market was disappointed in the results just based off the share price action. And on that particular day, the share price dropped about 10%. Share price dropped from $80.36 down to $72.60. And not only that, the share price fell below that support level. In fact, it's remained below that level over the last 3 trading days. And not only that, share price fell below that level on a negative announcement and on high volume. And it does look like the share price that had been an uptrend for this company since last August, you can see a beautiful uptrend. Share price moved from about $50 to a high of $96. It does look like potentially Mineral Resources is moving, or share price is moving into a downtrend. And not only that, the last time the share price was this low was way back in November, which is not that long ago, only 5 months ago, but still, we're talking about a 5-month low in the share price. And the very fact that this support level has been broken means this is looking more of a bearish chart for this company. From bearish charts to a bullish charts, we move on to Doug. I have featured Doug in a few of my videos before, and for full disclosure purposes, I am a shareholder of this company. More than likely won't be a long-term shareholder. I'm just trading this company because there is no way you could define Doug Technology as a high-quality company. Doesn't mean it will never become a high-quality company. And in fact, if it transitions from a low-quality company to a high-quality company, that's when you want to be a shareholder of this company. But I can't really say that will happen to Doug just yet. I need more confirmation that this company can keep on succeeding. Just like they have been giving the market, they've been giving the market really positive financial news over the past 6 months to maybe a year. And that's why the market has responded. That's why sentiment has shifted from negative to positive. That's why the share price has moved from a downtrend into an uptrend, because of positive financial news from this company. So even though you can trade a chart, ultimately what drives the share price of a company higher or lower is financial performance. So that's what you've got to be looking for in the overall. So financial performance drives sentiment in the end. Sentiment doesn't drive financial performance. Financial performance drives sentiment. So what you want to be looking for is these companies that are providing really good financial results and can provide really good financial results on a continuing basis. And that's what Doug has been doing over the past at least 6 months. And they did release their financial results, their quarter results, during the week. Share price rallied 10%. I think it was on the 27th. And they were operating cash flow positive by $5 million. Just shy of $5 million. Not only is it $5 million, it's $5 million US dollars. And for the first 9 months of the year, they were operating cash flow positive by $7.3 million. And this is a company that has turned things around because they were operating cash flow negative about a year ago, 1 or 2 years ago, and they have turned things around. And that's why the share price has rallied. That's why there's positive sentiment in this company, and the share price is now just above $1. Share price closed at $1.02, and the share price is in a well-defined uptrend right now. Now to the final business company, and that is Megaport. And I just had to include Megaport because the company did release their quarter results on the 28th, which is the Friday, and well, the market loved it. Up 41.5%, but this is not a breakout. So even though this is a good financial performance from the company, continually, whenever this company releases the financial results, the market responds either really negatively or really positively. And this has been happening over the past 18 months. So sometimes you will see the share price drop by 30 or 40% on the release of the quarterly results, or rise 30 or 40% on the release of their quarterly results. But overall, or generally, the company has released negative quarterly results, and that's why the share price has been in a downtrend. And even though the share price rallied by 41.5%, the share price is still in a downtrend. Share price right now is in a resistance zone, just out of that red zone, just above that red zone. But that blue line, which is a 150-day moving average, that has been a pretty strong resistance level for this company. So what we need to see for Megaport moving forward is a share price not to go any lower from $4. That would be a bad sign. And we need to see the company release further positive results. Now, not only did the company release positive Appendix 4C, they also upgraded their guidance. So you could call this a profit upgrade from the company. So this is a good first sign from the company, but they need to continue this momentum into this current quarter. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the share price be quite volatile moving forward, because there's going to be a lot of investors out there who would see this little rally as a chance to get out. That's definite. Or there's going to be some investors who see this particular news as a chance to buy into Megaport at good value. And maybe even after this 41.5% rise, $5.63 represents good value for them when it comes to Megaport. That's all I have for this technical update, 34 April 2023 edition, focusing on Syrah Technologies and 9 other companies on the ASX. If you have any questions about any company I featured in today's video, I'd love to hear your thoughts, your questions, so leave those in the comment section of this video. Otherwise, I am not a financial advisor. If you do need financial advice, make sure you seek out someone who is qualified and can speak to your own financial needs. That's it for this video. Have a good day.